Hello, my name is Heavenly Williams, and I'm a student at Lodi High School, and today I will be interviewing a healthcare assistant. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, Heavenly. This is Yandere Scrivens. I am a healthcare assistant at a school district.
So, how long have you been a medical assistant?
I've been a medical assistant for almost 4 years working in the school district.
What changes have you seen in healthcare since you've been working?
The 4 years that I've been working at the school district, there has been so many different changes. Um, Starting with how to work through COVID-19, as you know, that happened. Um, a lot of changes happened through that time. A lot of people were working from home. There's times that we will have to go and check the students in their homes, um, taking a lot of resources to the homes, being able to communicate through Zoom with our colleagues. The documentation was way different. We had to learn how to be patient and being able to work from home as well, knowing that our families also were at home, either our children being in school and they're being in Zoom. Um, it was very difficult, but we were able to go through it.
So, what specialty or department do you work in?
I work for the health services department in a school district. I am a healthcare assistant. I work with the aid of the students as well as the medical resources for the families, checking immunizations, doing reports, doing clinics for the children at the schools, making emergency calls. Also, I am a trainer for CPR. Um, there's like a little bit of everything in the department that I work on.
What's the most rewarding part of your job?
The most rewarding part of my job would be, as you see, there's students with special needs at the school sites. The students that right now that I help are diabetic. So I have to do procedures with the students, helping them how to count their carbs, uh, if they have a monitor, or check their sugar. If they don't have a monitor, do finger sticks. Um, Sometimes take off to the classroom because they're not feeling well, do checkups on them. Um, it makes me feel good knowing that there's someone there to help them and guide them depending on the grade that they are. Being able to help the students with aid, the all the regular students that go to the school with bandages and ice pack. Sometimes assisting families with questions, resources, especially being able to assist with translating in Spanish, since that is my first spoken language. It makes me feel um, it's really rewarding to me knowing that I'm able to help in that way, because there is a lot of Latino families in the community where I work at. And they feel safe knowing that there is someone there that speaks their language.
What is the most difficult part of your job?
One of the most difficult parts of my job is when there's an a really bad emergency with one of the students. It could be from maybe them playing PE or sports, and they come in because they broke their arm and seeing their arm broken, um, or having a student that got stung by a bee, and they have they're allergic. They have allergic reactions to it. Having to give them the EpiPen, knowing that it's something good for them. Um, that's one of that's really tough. Also, calling the parents regarding the students that have accidents, letting them know, I'm calling you because your student broke his arm. It's like it's sad to call a parent, and they get so sometimes emotionally hurt, or they can even get really mad because they expect their children to be safe at school, and not knowing that there's things that can happen. There's times that kids are overwhelmed with stuff, and they get asthma attacks because their anxiety goes up, and then come to find out that they take them to the doctors, and now they have asthma and they never had asthma. It's very difficult to try to be in a certain reaction to yourself. You can't show a lot of feeling, because you have to be mentally ready for incidents that happen in school, and mentally ready on how to talk to parents in the phone, and mentally ready when parents come to the school, and either they pick up their students, and mentally ready to take a student in an ambulance because of an accident that happened. One of the most difficult thing as a healthcare assistant in a school is there's students that don't have families. There's students that live in group homes, and it's so hard knowing that an accident happened to that student and not being able to call a parent or a family member about that student. We have to call a group home person, whoever works for the group home, and they come and assist us, the student. But knowing that the students don't have that parently support, as a parent, little students, the little children, they want their parent to be there. Sometimes it's hard when they come in and I say, oh, when they come in for aid and I say, oh, who's home? Who can I call? Because students usually know which parent is home and which one we can call. So I usually like to give them that option on who do you want me to call, your mom or your dad? And sometimes they tell me, oh, well, I don't have a mom, or I don't have a dad, or I live in a group home, so just call my group home. It's very hard, and it's hard to swallow. It's painful to me knowing that I'm a parent, and I'm there every time if my child needs me. It's so hard not to get emotional, but it's reality. But that's one of the hardest things, knowing that they don't have that parent support. But it makes me happy knowing that I'm at least there, and I can try to give them that support.
Do you have any advice for me?
My advice for you, working in a school district where there's children of different ages, would be a lot of patience. Because you have different ages that come in, from little ones, from not understanding, to older kids. I work in a school that I have preschoolers all the way to 8th grade students, from where the preschoolers are so little, they sometimes get scared when they see me because I wear scrubs, and they think that they're gonna get a shot. And knowing how to communicate with them and letting them know, like, oh no, you're not gonna get a shot, I'm just gonna check or give you a band-aid, or I'm gonna check on you. We don't do shots in the school. We don't, that's a no-no here, because it's a school it's a school district. Always having stickers for the little ones, that's something that works for me. Singing songs with them. Now with the older kids, obviously they know that you're not going to give them a shot. But sometimes they, nowadays, some of the students are not very respectful, so they don't want to listen. But just know that you have a lot of support. If you work for a school district, that you have a lot of support in the school district, because we have our counselors, we have our teachers, even our principals, you know. So know that you're not alone. But my advice is that you let them know, for the older kids, what works for me is, if I respect you, I want the same respect back. And always communicate with the students, and always document everything that you do. Documentation is key. If you don't document, it never happened. Especially when you do procedures with children. If you didn't document it, it never happened. So always make sure that you give the right medication. If you're going to give medication, the time, what was the student doing. Communicate everything very well, even with your teammates. Communicate. Another thing, always be ready for emergencies. Always. With the information from the emergency, the documentation for the emergency. It could be you had to use an EpiPen with the student, document who's the student, who do you call, all the steps that there is. Or if you send someone to get an AED because you needed it for a student that you're giving CPR to, always document. Always know that you have help. Ask for the help. But remember your times, remember your protocols, your procedures, the times, the information that you need to know. Document everything. And if this is really the field that you want to go to, really love it. Love it and keep learning. Don't ever stop learning, because as you see, ever since COVID-19, a lot of new things came in place. So there's more learning from that. And each year, just learn something new or review it. Always review what you've learned. Go back to your notes. Even those first notes that you take now, being in this class as a high schooler, still always go back to those notes. Always.